morning from the Vietnamese capital of Hanoi. Quite a late one last night. It's about 2:30 in the morning down BS. It's going to be a busy day today. We're going to do a lot of exploring around Hanoi. We're going to try and get to see quite a few things. And the first place we're stopping is the Ho Chi Minh Mausoleum. So the reason we're up so early is that it takes about 2 hours to get round, and I can see why. Okay, what we'll do is we're going to roll the titles and then we'll show you why it's going to take 2 hours to get through. Let's get going. Stood in a massive queue, which we've just driven past the mausoleum and it looks like it's bloody miles away, and the queue is just bonkers. So you've got streams of like school trips coming in and it's just absolutely right. We're not even in the main entrance yet. This just goes to kind of show how highly regarded Ho Chi Minh is considered here, which is one of the things to come and see when you're in Hanoi, because you can actually, I think you can actually see his body, can't you, when you go in? So how they've preserved it, I don't know, but it'll be interesting to see when we're getting inside. So obviously you've got a queue. I think it's a constantly moving queue, and then you basically walk in, I think you walk around his body and then exit. Have a look at this queue. This is just the start of it. Okay, you've got, this is just the reception part, and we've seen the queue, and it looks like when the Queen died in England and people were queuing to see the Queen. That's the kind of like how highly regarded he is. But just all these school trips behind. We'll see how we get on. Okay, so the time is currently 8:58. Let's see how long it takes. Okay, so that actually only took about 40 minutes. The queue's constantly moving. The queue was massive, but you go in and it's a strange little experience, because you can just hear all the murmuring of like chat, and then as soon as you get in the room where Ho Chi Minh's body is, it's just deathly silent. But we were just saying, we've just come out and it just looked like a mannequin, really. It's just like laid out in like a glass casket with his head like on a pillar and just resting. Yeah, that's all it is, but like I say, it just didn't like look real, did it? It was weird.
He's very pale.
But well, he's gotta be, isn't he? He's not gonna be tanned. But definitely worth doing, just for the experience more than anything. So like I say, it's a Saturday. We got here, what time did we get here? Just before 9.
There's quite a lot of schools here today. I don't know if that's a normal thing or just a weekend thing, but there was loads of schools, wasn't there?
Yeah, stacks of them. The kids keep you entertained, saying hello as you walk past and that. Everybody kind of just so friendly. Just everyone seems to put a bit of a smile on your face, yeah. And the kids are just like dead cute, the kids, and they just all want to like, they're all staring at you, wondering what you're all about and where you're from. So yeah, it was good. It was good. So just one other thing about going into the mausoleum, they're really strict on cameras and cell phones. Well, I say very loosely maybe with cell phones, but your cameras and stuff all get taken off you before you like get to the main part of the queue. So you get like a little red shopping bag type thing, and then you've got to collect it at the exit. So like cameras and stuff you just kind of take in. I've seen people taking pictures and stuff. I mean, we got a couple of sneaky ones as well, but when you go in, everybody puts their phones away, so that's like the sign of respect, really. So in 1972, during the war, the Vietnamese Air Force shot down 82 aircraft, one of them being a B52, an American B52. Part of the fuselage landed in a lake, so that's where we're going to go next. It's Ho Chi Minh Lake. It's only about a 10-minute walk from the mausoleum, so we're just going to walk there now. It shouldn't take too long. Around Vietnam, see the flags just behind us. You see a lot of these knocking around, and it looks like the Russian flag with the hammer and sickle on with a red background. But what we got told on our tour the other day when we did the DMZ is that this is actually the communist flag. So talk about seeing the real Vietnam. Google Maps just brought, it's like a little rat run, tiny little alleyways, people's houses, which we'd never have seen if we'd just walked like the normal way. But Google Maps just brought us through these little back streets. Interesting to see anyway. So we've had to dive in out of the rain. It's absolutely pissing down. We're right next to the lake as well. I think there's going to be another lake in a minute, because this is just, it's tipping it down. So we've got these thundery showers today apparently, and we've been okay so far this morning thankfully, but we've just dived into a very local cafe place right next to Ho Chi Minh Lake. So we're going to have these, and then hopefully this rain dies off a bit, otherwise we'll be grabbing it all day long I think. But this one's a bit of an outdoor thing, so we need to see this one. I've got no coat, got no umbrella, and the guy in my reception says, oh, good weather today, no rain. So just while we're sat here, one little interesting fact about Vietnam and motorbikes. You're probably wondering why there were so many motorbikes. So when we were on our DMZ tour, our tour guide was telling me that obviously they're cheaper to buy. So if in Vietnam you buy a car, it would cost more than a year's salary. So it's pretty much the same price as a house in Vietnam. It would be like getting another mortgage, basically getting a car. So for what you can get for a house is the same price as a car. Crackers, isn't it? He was also telling me that obviously you can tell by the type of bike that people drive what kind of class they sit at. So there was a woman driving past in some kind of Honda bike or something the other day, and he was like, oh yeah, she's got money. And then there's other bikes he could tell that were like lower class. So that's quite interesting. But again, and also what he said was, which Jackie's just said to me, is that imagine everybody having cars. So these roads are bad enough with all the bikes. Imagine there was all cars on these roads. Just crazy.
I think apparently the government thinks that the roads are fine and are wide enough, but they're not. They're clearly not.
So behind this is the fuselage that's left over from the war. They wanted it kept here because to the Vietnamese people this is a sign of victory and it's a sign of patriotism. So they left it in the lake and it's become a tourist attraction now. So it's interesting to see. So you can see the wheel coming out of the lake and then the back part of the plane here. So that's been there since 1972. So even these little back streets are mental. There's bikes just pushing past. We've just come to a crossroads there and there's bikes everywhere. It's just absolute crazy. But we've just been saying Hanoi is just such a nice feeling about the place. We love the atmosphere. It's just different. You've got the craziness, but it just feels like a much more laid back vibe here, which is great for a capital. And it's just nice. I mean, just walking around these streets here, you would never get this if you went in a Grab. So this is a really good experience, just finding out what the locals do, selling pig hooves and fish and all sorts of things. This is great. Oh yeah, it must go in there. Oh yeah, so it must be. Okay. Is this for the fish? Yeah, so. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Clever, yeah. Brilliant. Just obviously made that himself as well. Yeah. So that guy's made a remote control boat, which he's just obviously made it from scratch, you could tell. It's quite clever. So the bottom of his boat, it's got like a bit of string which obviously puts the bait on for the fish. So it drops open, the bait goes through, if he catches a fish, locks back up. That was class, that. So he's just showing me how it works. He's got a little button to press and it opens up. So that was interesting. Again, you wouldn't get that in a Grab taxi, would you? Dotted all over Vietnam on the motorways and streets of the cities, you'll see those kind of posters behind, which are all red. They're all propaganda posters, which basically are saying life's good, all is well. So that's the government kind of promoting that communism is good. To be fair, Vietnam is quite loose in terms of communism. Obviously from our experience here, we haven't really noticed any kind of strict rules or anything like that. And one of our tour guides the other day on the DMZ tour again, he was saying there's absolutely no need for police on the roads, for instance. It's very, very unregulated. So there's no kind of laws, but you hardly ever see any accidents, although there are quite a few reported accidents throughout the year and fatalities, but thankfully we've never seen any. And he basically says, look, there's no need for police. Everybody seems to be pretty much well behaved, sticks to the rules within the limits. Some people don't always follow them, but to be honest, we've never felt unsafe the whole time we've been here. Everybody's been welcoming, friendly. So to be fair play to them. Okay, so this looks like a bit more of the affluent area of Hanoi, if you were. So there's convention centres, we've seen embassies for Ukraine, Spain, Romania. You can just tell by all the different cars around here. It's all Mercedes, BMWs, big people carriers, SUVs. So this looks like it's been a really nice walk actually. So we're on our way now, with all the talk of communism, to Lenin Park. So we're only about 5 minutes away, so let's get down there. So Lenin Park is about 2 kilometers from the big lake in the old quarter, and it's just a nice place to come and sit and relax and get away from a bit of the hustle and bustle. It's a bit quieter here. So this is one of the old Russian leaders, Lenin, and obviously because Vietnam is quite pro-communism, especially in the north, this is a big figure here, quite a close relationship with the Communism Party. So the statue was built here to commemorate his 110th birthday. So they also have a Russian style circus here from time to time, which must be just at the back here, where there's bears riding bicycles and all this kind of nonsense, which I don't particularly agree with. And this isn't actually too far from Ho Chi Minh Mausoleum, and it's about 2 kilometers from the old quarter. So if you want to just have a walk through like we have and just come and sit and relax, this is a place to do it. So directly opposite Lenin Park is a famous flag tower. So this is a stone built tower with the Vietnamese flag on the top. And there's also a war museum here as well. Since we're just getting to Lenin Park, within about 3 or 4 minutes, the humidity has just gone to another level. Jacky's just been looking, and apparently right now it's 85% humidity. We are absolutely sweating buckets. It was okay about 5 minutes ago, and then it's just brightened up a little bit, and the humidity just, you could feel it just rising. So inadvertently, we've just passed Train Street, which is, we're going to go there later on. So we've been approached by a guy, because the thing with Train Street is, it used to be open to the public, but they closed it down years ago. So now you've got to get invited into a coffee shop or a cafe or wherever to access Train Street. And then we've just come across this lovely little bakery. So what did you get there, Jackie?
The bakery.
What did you get?
A pizza slice, a ham and cheese toasty, and a donut. And we could have had
We love Hanoi. So we're walking about 15 minutes from Lenin Park. So the next place we're going to visit is called Hoa Lo Proson. So this prison in Hanoi was built by the French colonists in Indochina, and it was built for political prisoners. During the war, when the French left, this was used for American P.O.W, prisoners of war. It's commonly referred to as the Hanoi Hilton. It's taken longer than expected because we've made a few little detours after we found Train Street. So we're only a couple of minutes away now. So 30,000 dong each, and this place is open from 8 in the morning till 5 at night. Okay, so for this tour we've actually opted for the audio guide. This was 100,000 dong each, so that's what, £4. So when you go through, get this, so you just put in the number of the exhibition and it'll tell you the stories about each place. So we'll probably not do much talking in this bit, we'll kind of sum it up a bit afterwards. But we'll show you around, show you what it's like, and then we'll tell you a little bit about the place.
Hoa Lo Prison was built by the French between 1886 and 1901 when it carried the name Maison Centrale. As the years went past, more and more prisoners crowded the small facility, and in 1913 the renovated prison held over 600 inmates. That number continued to grow until it held over 2,000 people in 1954. Due to the large population and the poor conditions, the prison became so hated in Vietnam, and many people sent here became more and more angry against the French government and their colonisation of Vietnam. It was recorded that many political prisoners started gathering like-minded people and converting the local Vietnamese population because of the harsh conditions inside the prison. Soon, Hoa Lo Prison became called the Fiery Furnace or Hell's Hole, and it became one of the symbols of the colonial exploitation that contributed to the start of the Vietnam War. After the start of the Vietnam War, Hoa Lo Prison became one of the central points for American POWs. In addition to the inhumane treatment of the prisoners, Vietnamese government used extensive methods of torture to extract military information out of the US soldiers. They used rope bindings, irons, beatings and prolonged solitary confinement to break the will of the individual and groups. As the war went on, torture slowly subsided, and during 1970 every American POW was transported to Hoa Lo Prison, which was called by the soldiers the Hanoi Hilton. The large community of US soldiers created a better atmosphere that greatly boosted morale. Some of the more notable soldiers that were imprisoned here were US Senator John McCain, future US Vice Presidential candidate James Stockdale, and decorated US Air Force pilot Bud Cha. The Hanoi Hilton was demolished in mid-1990, and in 1999, international chain of hotels Hilton opened Hilton Hanoi Opera Hotel on grounds where the prison was located.
Looks like our bed in Da Nang. It's probably more comfortable. So that was Hoa Lo Prison. We've been in there about 2 hours and it was quite interesting. It was good. It was the whole history of the prison really, so from when it was built from the French colonists and taking in the Vietnamese revolutionaries and talking about the way they tortured them and executed them really, which is pretty grim. There's some nasty pictures in there as well, which I didn't expect. I didn't expect to see that. And then it went through to the wartime, when they were using it to capture the aircraft pilots who were bombing, and then talking about it. It's all their different stories. So we had stories of the revolutionaries, and then we had stories of the people that got captured during the Vietnam War. And just saying like how well they were kind of treated really during the war, like and they became friends. A lot of like the prisoners with the guards, and when they were handed over in 1973, they were given gifts off the prison guards and all that kind of stuff. So it was good to see all the different stories and the history of the place, because this got destroyed after the war. I think it was just after the war, or during the war. And they've obviously like built it again and restored it and made a museum. So it's definitely one place to come when you come to Hanoi, just to like kill a couple hours in an afternoon, or you know, just to get a bit of history about the place.
To get a bit of history.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
All about it, like tying it all in together.
And the audio thing, the audio guide was really good.
Yeah, we did the audio guide.
Yeah, it just kind of means you don't have to read everything, because sometimes reading takes a lot to just take it all in. So just having that audio guide was pretty good. So
give you a bit more in depth as well.
It does, yeah.
There was some stuff. It was just like the cabinet was still fame, but it actually the audio goes into more detail about it. So
and the stories you would capture as well. Like
and you get stories of like people's memoirs and
so.
Oh, it's
good, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So definitely recommend that. Fascinating view. A little bit downbeat, and it's a little bit grim in there. Like some of the rooms are really dark and depressing, but obviously that's to set the mood, isn't it? Yeah. Right, where should we go next?
I think we need to get a beer.
It's a good idea. Let's get a beer somewhere. We are now in the southeastern corner of the French Quarter in Hanoi, and we are going to have some Bun Cha here. So this place was made famous in May of 2016 because Barack Obama had Bun Cha here with Anthony Bourdain. So this has now become quite a famous place to eat. So we're going to go inside and try the Bun Cha and see what it's like, and we'll get Jatty's review on it. Let's go inside. Yes. Bun Cha is grilled pork, sliced grilled pork. Comes like in a fish sauce broth with rice, vermicelli, and you get greens with that, so it's like herbs. You just mix them all in together, and that's your Bun Cha. Jaggy expertly putting together a Bun Cha.
Sorry, this is not the way you do it, but...
So graceful.
What about that? A bit of coriander.
It's like a bit of lettuce and stuff. There's probably mint in there, I would imagine, is that?
Yeah, that is, but I'll stick it in. I like coriander. Oh, maybe it's a bit of parsley or something. And then I think you just like spoon this over.
Yeah, spoon some over.
And then you put a bit of
Pork. Pork looks nice.
Oh, it's quite sweet.
Is it?
Yeah.
Tasty?
Yeah.
Good.
Oh yeah, that's the pork, absolutely. I've got the pork in.
Cooked it in, yeah. It's the broth that's probably...
Really nice.
Yeah,
Oh,
good.
Yeah.
How many guys out of 5 are you going to get this one?
I'll give it 4.5.
4.5? Good. Good rating.
Yeah. Bun Cha done.
And how was it?
It was really good actually.
Nice,
yeah. It was, I didn't actually know what it was at all, so, and it was like dead sweet.
It was lovely.
It wasn't dead sweet.
I didn't think I would like it because it was like, it's a fish sauce broth. Now I don't mind fish sauce like in Thai curries and things.
Hidden.
Because I think it was like fermented fish sauce, but it was like, I was like, oh. But I'll give it a try, and it was really good.
Wow.
In fact, that probably ranks right up there with some of the favourite dishes we've had since we got here.
Nice.
That was lovely.
So,
and it was only 50 dong. Well, about £1.50 at home.
Yeah.
Just over £1.50. Cheap as out. That was 106 dong altogether.
Yeah, but that was 2 beers.
Yeah.
We only got one.
2 beers, yeah, which was enough because we had a little bit before, didn't we? And then you got to pay for like the towel things.
Yeah, sneaky.
Sneaky, yeah. I mean, they're only 3,000. Poppers, really. Next destination is Train Street, and then we're just going to get a grab over there because we're miles today. Okay, so this is Train Street. So the government blocked tourists coming here a few years ago, citing it was too dangerous. So they've closed the road off. But if you get invited into a shop, like a coffee shop, little cafe, by one of the owners, you're allowed to go. So some guy came across before, so we're just kind of hanging around hoping he's going to come across. Apparently there's going to be 2 trains coming past. But we're just waiting to see if he notices and we'll hopefully get in. So we're here on Train Street now. Luckily enough, we had to queue for a bit, but then they sneaked in. So there should have been a train about 20 minutes ago, according to that guy earlier, but nothing's come past. But I've just heard him saying it's going to be about 20 minutes now. That was about 5 minutes ago, so hopefully we should see one. Train Street. Crackers how close you can actually be to it. You can feel the draft of it. It's that's crazy. Definitely worth a visit. Okay, well, we are now in the French Quarter. We're in the southeast corner of the French corner of Hanoi. Did I say French corner? Quarter. We're now in the southeast quarter. We're now in the southeast French Quarter, southeast corner of the.
How many?
We are now in the. I can't see it. It's in my head. I can't see it. Bun Cha consists of grilled pork and comes like in a fish sauce broth.
In the next episode, I visit a local barber's to get smartened up for the next part of our adventure. We then visit Hanoi Lake and learn about the legend of the local turtle. We try food in one of Hanoi's highest rated restaurants. And we take in one of Vietnam's famous water puppet shows.